Kim. Oops. Go away. Eileen.
Hello.
Yep. Like clockwork, every time we start a meeting, one of my brethren calls to tell her, don't call. Okay. I see Kim. I see her trying to connect to audio, but I'm not sure that she's in there yet.
Let me just. Oh shoot, what do I do?
I don't think I have Kim's phone number, actually.
Is it in the calendar?
You know, I have the, yes, I do. Maybe I'll text her. That's a good idea. Because I think if she logs out and then logs back in, she might be able to get in.
I wasn't going to answer because I'm like, I have a Zoom.
You're here, but you're on, right? I saw I was having a little trouble.
Yeah, I have to wait.
You're good. You don't have to disconnect. I'll disconnect. Hi there.
Okay, well.
All right, perfect. There you are. I like your background. Very
Love
nice.
that.
Very beautiful. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm okay too. Kim, I am going to tape this, so if you have a large audience, that's great. If not, you can share it with anybody that you like, okay? It's very brief. Who's psyched about graduation? I shouldn't say that on tape.
I'm not jumping up and down yet because I'm just a little worried about the ambiguity with the number.
Oh, there's no ambiguity.
Oh, okay, we're good with
The
that.
number's not good, but we're gonna figure something out. We're gonna be very creative.
Yes, I like Common Core math.
I like it. So if half the people are on the bleachers,
Yeah, let's figure it out.
count.
Raise.
Works for me.
50 a raise. We'll take it that way.
All righty. Kim, you tell me when to start. I'll mute for you, but I still got a couple people coming in, so.
Also, please, let's just go.
I just need everybody to mute.
I'll mute.
That's okay. I mute and then I unmute, and sometimes I unmute everybody, and the poor board members, I constantly lock them out of board meetings accidentally while they frantically text me, you have to unmute me. All right. Kim? Did I mute her?
Mute.
Oh, try again. Are you good, Kim?
Okay.
right.
I wasn't gonna run it like an actual PTA meeting.
Nope, you're not gonna.
Okay, good.
So just tell me when you're ready, because I will give you a YouTube link that you can send out to your membership, which I think will be very helpful. It's really
Okay.
just a quick review because the governor gave us a little bit of extra time. So I'll just talk a bit about that. I got more people coming in.
Okay.
So what's going to happen too is once I start, I'm going to leave people in the waiting room so that I'm not interrupting. And then we'll just catch them up at the end, okay?
I'm just texting my corresponding secretary and that, not my rep, and then after that we could start.
Okay, sure.
See if she's on her way or not.
Great. I promise it will be very fast. And I keep adding things to the slide every time I forget something, so you guys are last. You get the full kit and caboodle. Okay. Hey, Sam. All right. If everyone can mute themselves. You ready, Kim, for me to start? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. It'll take me a couple seconds just to find the presentation. So hang on 1 minute. I think I would be down with this already. Okay, slideshow from the beginning. All right, I'm going to share the screen. And here we go. Okay, so this is just a quick budget overview. All right. I'm going to remove my face so you don't see that. And we're going to start the slideshow from the beginning. Hello, come on, maybe. There it is. Okay, so what we've been doing, whoop, there is one more person in the waiting room I just let in. Can you hear me? Okay, so the Carl Place Union Free School District, normally what we do is we visit each PTA, we take our little show on the road, and obviously we weren't able to do that this year. So we're doing this virtually. It's a very quick presentation, just an overview of the school budget. Just so you know, the governor did change the rules yesterday. He said that we can accept absentee ballots up until, if they are mailed, June 16th. So the budget count will not take place tomorrow. It'll take place next week. The budget is, in my opinion, a very solid budget. Nothing fancy, maintains all of our programs, all of our staffing, and just adds a speech teacher. And many, many, many other things that are in it are based upon what you see here, our strategic plan. So as we put the budget together, my only requirement was that every line item had to match something on this plan. So our program is, of course, related to our students' instructional program, and our positive culture and identity. Of course, we talk mostly about maintaining a safe and healthy environment for kids, SEL. Professional practice is our staffing and hiring. We hire very good teachers and we take care of them once we get them to us. And then process and planning is, of course, how we pay for things and the capital projects that we get to enjoy and have the community benefit from. So here is the quick down and dirty executive summary of the numbers. Our proposed 2021 budget is $51 million, $51,086,433. Our budget to budget increase is $861,751. So the increase budget to budget is 1.72%. Our estimated tax levy, which is what we're allowed to ask the community to pay for, is $43,948,766. The estimated tax levy increase is $751,077. That's a 1.74% increase. It's one of the lowest in Nassau County. Okay. Whoops, I gotta go back. All right, so you are going to have 3 propositions that you must vote on. One is the budget. You pick yes or no. That's simple. Number 2, proposition 2 is to establish a capital reserve, which is something the Board of Education has done many, many times over, and it is what allows us to be able to do the renovations and construction projects without asking you for additional money via a bond. Finally, Proposition 3 is a transfer from the repair reserve. Over Christmas break, we had some issues with the leftover from the flooding over the summer. We needed to do some electrical work so we could make sure that people were safe in case something flooded again. And that's what we're asking that money to come from so that we can do it. Not additional money from you, it's just a transfer. Also, we have the election of 2 of our board members. Mr. John DeFrisco and Mr. Anthony Bolzomi's terms are up on June 30th, and we have 3 people running: Christine Aguilar, Anthony Bolzomi, and John DeFrisco. So you may only pick 2. I'm going to let a couple people in the waiting room who've been waiting. Hang on one second while I do that. My apologies, but it's hard to see them when they're in there. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, so you have that ballot, as I said. Okay, budget vote is by absentee ballot. Unless you've been under a rock, you know that we are not doing in-person voting this year. Everything is by absentee ballot only. Those ballots were mailed to you on May 26th, and they must be received in the district's clerk's office by June 16th, 2020. There's lots of information on the website under the departments, under business office, if you want to see more information about that. And of course, we're always here to help if you need. Now I'm going to talk a very tiny bit, very small amount of it, because I don't have much information to share about our Return to Learn task force. So we are in the midst of this pandemic and we don't really know what September will look like. However, we want your feedback because we have various scenarios that we may need to be prepared for. For example, we may have all of our kids return. We may have none of our kids return and go completely virtual, or we may need to be able to address having a 50% capacity, which is the rumor that we're going to have to make sure that we practice social distancing. We need a lot of help with that. So we hope and pray that you are willing and able to participate on our Return to Learn committee. I've got 3 buildings, really 4 grade areas, because middle school and high school I consider to be 2 separate entities, and 5 different areas that we're looking at. Facilities, what the buildings will look like, health and safety practices, instruction, of course, which is a big one, building practices, which is how we move kids around the hallway, how they eat lunch, how they have art, and of course, transportation, which also we're being told we may need to follow certain social distancing protocols. I don't have any answers about any of these areas. However, we are going to move forward and try to come up with some type of an action plan. And then when the governor gives us information, we'll incorporate that into it. So we've gotten a nice, healthy response, and we hope that that committee will start meeting probably sometime next week. Okay, so that's that. We also wanted to tell you a little bit about our Summer of Learning programs. So we recognize that many of our teachers were learning how to do remote live instruction. And next year, should we have to go back to school virtually, which I hope we don't, but if we do, it's going to look very different than it did this year. So in other words, we expect that our teachers will do much more live instruction on a daily basis. And to that end, our summer programs are going to be live. So our Summer of Learning programs are for grades pre-K through 6, 7, and 8th grade. And you can see there are lots of combinations of live math and ELA instruction and daily meeting and review time with a real live teacher. And those programs that I'm just talking about here, the BOCES Summer School program, are for students. It's a skills-based program who generally are invited by their teachers. So you guys, middle school, high school, middle school particularly, if you did not get an invitation and you want to have your child attend as a review, they are absolutely welcome. E&L students will be included in those K-6 grade level groups. And of course, we just got news hot off the press from the governor that we can do an in-person special education extended year program. So we're looking into requirements for that because, of course, we have to make sure it's safe, that we can socially distance, that nobody comes in if they're sick, and all of that kind of stuff. But we think we can do that. Also, and we're really, really excited about this one, is a Learning Forward program for math, grades 6, 7, and 8. And I particularly asked Mrs. Fredericks to design a math program because math is a buildable skill set. So in other words, if you don't get it in 6th grade, you have trouble in 7th and in 8th. And we recognize that particularly middle school into 8th grade, that there was lots of opportunities for kids to have gaps in their learning, and we want to address that before September. So that will be live as well. And I urge you, if you're interested, to sign up for that. We'll be sending information about that shortly. And finally, and most importantly, next week we'll be sending out a survey to all parents regarding remote learning, and we want your complete and total honesty with what worked and what didn't, so that when we move forward, whether we're doing virtual learning or we simply are using our new one-to-one devices, we want your opinion on what worked and what didn't. Okay, so about that one-to-one initiative, we were very fortunate. Usually we're very careful with how we spend money. We usually have a little bit of change set aside at the end of the year. And this year, what we asked our Board of Education to do is to allow us to purchase one-to-ones. What that means is a computer for every child, a device for every child. K-2 will have iPads with keyboards. And that's largely because the iPads have applications on that they use in those classrooms. And in the 3 through 12 set, we'll have Chromebooks. Okay, and everybody will have one, every student will have one, and teachers will have laptops with webcams on them so that they can teach virtually from their classroom anywhere they need to. So it will be very exciting, and we are really thrilled that this is going to happen. To that end, we have lots of curriculum and professional development work that will be happening over the summer. The first one will be what we typically do is whatever the governor or SED decides to call the new curriculum work. It used to be called Common Core. Now it's called Next Generation Standards. It changes every so often. Largely, whatever it is, we always have to update and embed it into our current curriculum. And we do that on an ongoing cyclical basis. We're also going to build in an assessment and review module for all classes, and that's to address the COVID slide, so that if you're social studies, when you start next year, you have a bit of a review period before you go into the next part of the work. And that is everybody, because we know from Hurricane Katrina and other disasters that kids often have a decline in academic performance, and we want to address that right at the start. The next thing we're going to do is, looking forward, leverage technology to monitor our student achievement and progress. And that's when the pandemic is done and over and we have all these beautiful devices, we want to make sure that our teachers and kids really know how to use them to the greatest effect. School tool gradebook access for parents. When we return to school, we hope to make that available for all parents. Common platform is Google Classroom. So a common misconception is that means we never use Seesaw or Zoom. That's not the case. We have Google Classroom as the home base, and teachers can embed links in them, and we will train them how to do that if they don't know how. And we do that by providing high quality professional development for our teachers. Many of our teachers taught our teachers this year, so we'll continue with that, but we also have some professionals coming in through model schools to assist us. So last day of virtual instruction will be June 12th. Last day of school for teachers is June 16th. Here are some of the events. Please check with your principals for the times. These are really just estimates. K through 6 virtual field day. June 12th is Cherry Lane's moving up ceremony. Rushmore's ceremony is at 9. And middle school moving up is at 9 a.m. And I believe there's going to be a bike parade at 1 p.m. on that same day. And then on June 26th, luckily for us, the guidelines from the governor have come out saying that we can have in-person gatherings up to 150 students. So we're pretty excited about that. We don't know what that's going to look like. We're working with our high school principal to see how I can follow the guidelines and fit everybody in without getting myself arrested because I don't look good in stripes. I believe that's it. I have one more slide just to, oh, there it goes, not gonna work. Okay, yes, thank you to our PTA. And I really do want to say a very big thank you to Kim Ribrich. You've been wonderful. I've been able to call you. I have called several times over this pandemic, and always a friendly voice on the other end of the phone, and just rational and looking for solutions, not problems. So I appreciate that. And that goes for everybody. I'm going to stop the share now and I can open it up very briefly. I don't have much time left on my thing here, but I do have it being recorded so I can share it. And if you raise your hand, I can take questions if you have them. Anybody have any questions? You are a very quiet group. Yes, go ahead.
Can you tell us about the number of ballots that you've received so far? I mean, like, are you have you received maybe just 100 ballots so far?
Oh, no. Like many districts, we've received a significantly higher number of ballots than typically we see in elections.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's a good thing. I think I know my own children have never voted in a school budget before, but since the absentee ballot was there, of course, I educated them as to what their civic duty was, and it was very easy because I could just drop it in the mail. So I don't have the exact number for you, but it's a lot higher than what we typically have. Yeah, it is good. I think it's a little bit of a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see what happens. Hopefully all will be well.
And my offer still stands if you need somebody to put markers on those bleachers.
And we're being recorded, so gee, I'm not sure, but
Oh,
I will I will definitely be in touch because we need creative ideas. I can only have 150 people at the ceremony, supposedly.
Okay.
So we can see what we can do. The bleachers are rather far away though, so we might be able to socially distance people. That's my opinion anyway. So we'll see. But I'm excited about that. That was good news for me.
Very good.
So, yeah. Any other questions about what September might look like? If you have not had a chance to sign up for the task force, you can email me directly. I'll just forward it to that inbox. But on Friday, we will stop the task force collection, and then we're going to get together and divvy everybody up into the various different subcommittees, sub-advisory committees. We are going to move quickly with that. I would like to have some type of action plan in place by July 3rd. So, and then the governor will, I'm sure, have plenty of advice for us, and I will have to redo it, but that's okay. We'll get a head start on it. And we have a lot of questions. You know, where do we put all the kids? How do we do social distancing on school buses? If I have to have one child in every seat, what if we don't have buses? I'm leaning toward bringing the kids in if I can, you know, and I'm also leaning towards having teachers virtually teach if possible. So if I have a class of 30 and I'm only allowed to have 15 in a class, I'm looking for a room for those other 15 kids so that they can still continue to learn and be housed in the building. I can't make 3 buildings multiply into 6. So if that 50% rule is the rule, it's going to take some creativity on our part, but I'm very creative. We have 2 gyms, we have lots of cafeterias and lots of big spaces that we can possibly repurpose. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I have all these brilliant ideas, and then very realistic and smart people tell me we can't do that because fill in the blank. And that's why I need people to be part of it. Community members, teachers, parents, everybody. So it's a bona fide offer. I'm really looking forward to hearing your ideas virtually for now. And we'll share them all out. And I think we'll get something done. And then when September comes, we'll be prepared. Whether it's everybody's returning, nobody's returning, because Governor Cuomo might say, nope, you still have to go virtual, which will look different than this year, because now we're going to have all our equipment and our new curriculum. And then if it's 50%, which would be the biggest headache, frankly, but it's a start. So that's what September might look like. And as far as graduation, you'll be hearing from us very soon, and I will be calling you. So we'll see. Any other questions anyone has? Kim, I'm going to make this link available. It'll be a YouTube link, and you can send it to your membership. And of course, I'll send a letter. I usually send a letter once a week with the information, but just in case somebody wanted a spot to look at the numbers, it's kind of hard sometimes to find it on the website. So now you'll have it right in front of you. All right. All right. You guys win. You had the most people. That was great. All righty. Have a wonderful night. If you have any questions at all, you know I'm here. You can always email me. Okay. All right. Bye. Take care.